welcome to the Global Happiness Crusade, the Happiness in Their World series of podcasts. Today's guest is Dave Watson, who is no ordinary man, the Joker and the Queen. This is the Dave Watson story. Dave was a former Scots Guardsman who danced with Queen Elizabeth at Balmoral. He was a triple amputee from a Taliban IED blast, and he became an Invictus Games multiple gold medalist. He's a motivational speaker, a husband and a father. But most of all, he's a symbol of what resilience truly looks like.
So welcome, Dave Watson.
Steve, how are you?
Very good, mate, very good.
Good, good.
Take a seat.
Thank you.
Tell us that story of the hot summer's day and the unexpected orange juice encounter with royalty at Windsor Castle, I think it was.
It was Windsor Castle, yeah. And I'm stood there, and it were a boiling hot day, and I'm stood there in my tunic, my tweeds, my bearskin, and then I think I was there for about an hour, and then I got a glimpse of something in the corner of my eye. I can't move, I can't look round, and they were getting closer and closer. And as they've got in front of me, it's the Queen with a silver tray with some orange juice, some biscuits on. There's a secret garden to my right hand side to my post, and she said, "Guardsman, come in here." So I've gone in, she's put it on a little table, she sat down with me for 5 minutes, had a chat, and then she said, "You stay there, you have some orange juice, some biscuits, and get back when you're ready." I said, "Okay, thank you very much, Mum." But it weren't until after she left that my captain walked around the corner, realised that I wasn't on guard. He's walked into the secret garden and he's going absolutely mental. He's effing and blinding at me. "Who the effing hell's told you you can sit behind here? Tell me who it is, I'm going to go and see him, I'm going to do this." I went, "You're not." And he went, "You tell me who it is now, I'm going to go and see him." I went, "It was the Queen." He went, "You carry on, you stay there."
And I bet you thought it wouldn't happen again, but
No,
something else did happen, didn't it? Because, okay, tell me about the story when you danced with the Queen at the Gillies Ball. What do you remember most about those moments at Balmoral?
Well,
tell me about that.
Happening once and then happening twice, that's just a mind-blowing moment.
Yeah.
We got posted to Balmoral to look after the Queen and the royal family, because they go to Balmoral for 4 months of the year. But then there's a Gillies Ball, and only a certain amount of soldiers can go. So you've got to go and learn all this like Scottish dancing and so on. And I got selected to go. One of the dances, what it was, so the men had to stand in a circle, and the women had to stand in a circle. The men are in front of the women. The men go clockwise, the women go anti-clockwise to the music. When the music stops, you turn around and see who you're dancing with. Did it? The music stopped. I've turned round in the crown, and the Queen was stood there. And yes, I danced arm in arm with the Queen, and that was just a so unreal moment. Me having to dance with the Queen, a lad from Preston, like in the middle of nowhere, a little village of Bamber Bridge. I've never in my life thought that had ever happened to someone like me, but it happened twice.
Let's talk about the day everything changed. Can you walk us through those moments in Afghanistan that changed your life? I think it was some months later after the Balmoral event.
Yeah, of course I can. And being out in Afghan, when we got told we were deploying out there, it were a scary time, but we'd been trained. We were getting into a stream, and I was, out of 53 of us, I was the third to last man, so I was the 50th guy. So we got into the stream. There's an IED to our right hand side on the edge of the water and the banking, and as I got in, I passed it, and then my mate slipped behind me. As my mate slipped, there's only Out there, you can only think for seconds. It's a split second, and you've got to do it. So I thought, right, I need to go and help him. I've turned round. As I've turned round, I've heard the click and I've heard the bang. It's threw me 15 foot in the air, and I've landed back first into the water. My life was flashing before my eyes. I seen that white light, and then the guys have dragged me out, sat me on the edge, and said, "Dave, don't look down." I had to see what had happened. So as I've looked down, my legs were gone completely. All what were there were my shin bones. And then while they were putting the tourniquets on to stop the bleeding, I felt pins and needles in my arm. I've looked at my arm, and my arm was just dangling off, with its like just being held on by its tendons. The hand had been degloved, so I had my skin dangling at one side, my arm dangling at the other. And then they put me on the stretcher. I'm spitting teeth out, my jaws broke. With everything what I had on my body armour, I was lucky because I had grenades on my body armour. I had loads and loads of rounds in my backpack. I had my bayonet in my body armour, so that could have gone anywhere. Them grenades could have exploded. The bayonet could have stuck in me. I was lucky. Realising what happened, I was looking at myself, thinking, right, my life's over. I'm not gonna make it back home. I weren't in any pain because of all the adrenaline going through my body. And then the mates turned up. The guys have picked me up on the stretcher. The back of the mates angled like that. They're walking up, and then the guy what's at the bottom, he slipped and dropped me. And I turned around to him. I said, "Do you not think I've been injured enough? You just want to drop me?" And he's like, "Oh, sorry, Dave. Sorry." All these medics were all over me. They had to put me to sleep because of the stuff they were doing on the flight. They had to do it while they were going to Camp Bastion. I was asleep then, and I woke up in Selly Oak in Birmingham.
Do you remember what went through your mind as when the dust started to settle?
Nearly an LMG.
yeah. Nearly.
No,
yeah.
Well, the things that were going through my mind when it happened was, I'm not going to make it home.
Right.
I'm not going to make it home. That's me done. Because I did get told when I woke up in Selly Oak, I died 4 times on the way back from Afghanistan. I was in hospital for 3 weeks. So I'd done 2 weeks in Selly Oak, and they transferred us all over to Birmingham. And I was in Birmingham for a week, and then I was home. I don't know whether that was because the nurses were getting sick of me and my jokes and everything like that. I don't know whether they did it early to send him home. But yeah, I went home 3 weeks after hospital. I went home for 2 weeks. Being at home was strange. It was tiring because I was still in recovery. I was still led on my settee at home, and people were just coming round, but I could only see like 3 people at a time because it was just so tiring speaking about the same things over and over again.
Many people in your position would have given up. What was going through your mind to carry on, keep going?
Well, I'm not going to paint a bright picture. I did have some struggles at first. For the first 2 years, I turned to the drink and I turned to the drugs. I'm not going to lie about that. That's my story.
Talking about your sporting history now, what was it like going from the rejection in 2016 to winning gold medals and standing on the podium in 2017 and 18?
So I've always wanted to make something of sport. I've always wanted to get somewhere, and I went for the Invictus. Becky applied after rejection in 2016. Becky logged onto my emails, sent an email to the Invictus side of it to apply me to go to the training camps and that. And I was checking my emails. I didn't know nothing about it. Checked my emails, and I had this email from the Invictus saying, "Yeah, you can come to the trials." But and I went, "I haven't applied." And Becky went, "I did it for you because I know you can do it. I know you can carry it on, and I know you can pick yourself up." So I went for it, and then I got selected to do Canada in 2017. And that was just amazing. I only picked two sports: my discus and shot put, because that's what I wanted to do. The first one was shot put, and I got bronze in that. But being on the podium, and because that was one of my goals, to come away with something what showed I've worked so hard to get where I wanted to be. And when that bronze medal got put around my neck, I literally broke down in tears on the podium.
Must have felt like gold.
It felt amazing. It was, and I got what I wanted, and I just broke down in tears. And then the next day was my discus event, and I won that, and I got gold. So I pushed myself for Australia. Discus and shot put, yeah, no doubt about it. But I picked the indoor rowing as well. I come away with 2 silvers from that, which were amazing because I've only been doing it not even 6 months. And then my discus and shot put, my goals were to up my bronze to a different colour and to remain the Invictus champion, which I did. I went to shot put, and I became the Invictus champion and come away with gold. And I kept my gold medal for the discus, so I remain the Invictus champion.
We've already heard your examples of humour. But are there any other instances of where you found humour in places where no one else would even think to look?
I'll give you one example. So my mother-in-law, the girls are at home, and you know what girls are like, and young lads, the rooms are always filthy and everything. So I've gone to walk into my young girl's room to put her to bed. The mother-in-law's sat in the chair, and she went, "Oh, Dave, don't go in there. It's like a minefield." And I went, "Oh no, not again." And that's what that. Do you know what I mean? It's just stuff like that, or like if I do something wrong. "Oh, Dave, you ain't got a leg to stand on now." I went, "I haven't anyway."
Somewhere in the middle of all of this, you found love with Becky. Can you just tell us a little bit about that story?
Yeah, so I went to a charity event. I was going to a charity event, and Becky was at the charity event, and we met, started chatting, and then things went from there. So yeah, me and Becky ended up getting married in 2015. But she's been my rock through all this. She's pushed me the most to do and get to where I am today.
So at times when you felt low,
she's picked me back up again.
She's picked you up and pushed you through.
She's picked me back. She's pushed me through, and she's always been the same.
Let's talk about Dave Watson, the motivational speaker, the mentor. You're now a sought-after speaker. Is there a core message that you give out?
I love doing motivational speaking, just to inspire other people that don't really know what happens after injury. Every time I'd done a talk, every time I come away from that talk, it's like a weight off my shoulders. Everything happens for a reason. I got blown up to meet my wife, to have my kids, and to become a gold medalist.
Dave, thanks again, my friend.
Steve, thank you for having me on.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching this powerful episode of Happiness in Their World with Dave Watson. Dave's story reminds us that resilience isn't just about surviving. It's about transforming pain into purpose and rising stronger than before. If you're looking to inspire your team, your students or your audience, you can book Dave for your next event at www.dwmotivation.co.uk. Trust me, you'll never forget hearing Dave speak in person. And if this conversation moved you, join us at the Global Happiness Crusade on LinkedIn and Facebook. Be part of a growing community focused on hope, well-being and making happiness a global priority. We've got more incredible guests coming up, so keep an eye out for more Happiness in Their World episodes, because these are the conversations that matter.